Hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts 4, New Order Last Days Europe as the Greater African Reichsstaat. Now, some of you might have saw in the last little video, I had some issues with the game not wanting to crash, and I realized it was a issue with the little Atlantripa submod I was running, which I got rid of Atlantripa. And I kind of realized, oh crap, I can't just get rid of the submod, because it bricks the whole save if I get rid of it, but it's also causing issues. So, I went ahead, it's a little earlier, I redid more or less everything I remember us doing. We could have done one or two different focuses, I'm not entirely sure. And I just kind of sped through it, so I wasn't as precise or careful. I kind of want to see what would happen if we let a little bit more chaos happen. And we were joking about a little bit more chaos. Let's see. Rwanda, Burundi broke away. Uganda broke away. Kenya broke away. And Zimbabwe broke away. This time not led by Mugabe. Got good old Joshua Nkomo. Which, I don't know much about that lad, but probably better than, you know, some of the other options. So, we have a couple options on how to handle this. I think the big priority right now is to hang on to the Congo. So we'll start improving the situation there. Zanzibar, Tanganyika. I don't know if Botswana is the most important. Oh, okay. I didn't know we could do this, but we can go ahead. I forget if we I've done something differently that I didn't realize, but here we are. See, it's looking a little bit rough, so we're gonna go ahead, get these guys onto the Congo side of things. Get a fallback line. And yeah, talk about disaster. Yeah. Oh, Tanganyika is going to be pretty close to falling apart. I guess the question is, do I care about that necessarily? Although, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. Gas traffic. I already read this one, I think. So. I think we need to go ahead and empty the cities real quick. To fight the growing native menace, every city must be patrolled. Every building, from the factory to the village hut, should be monitored. The Stadtholder's earlier efforts in the surveillance and monitoring have yielded great results. We just need to apply the methods on a larger scale and extend the systems outside the Quelimane. In those places not connected to the electrical grid, we will simply increase the air patrol. The air fleet confiscated from traders will serve nicely. There we go. Well, Zanzibar, we'll probably have to act in Congo first. Though we have unrest in... Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, okay, where do these go? Okay. Oh, man. Okay, let's focus on Zambia first, then. Fallback line here. Situation in Zanzibar is really bad. And there goes Namibia. And Mozambique. Okay, Mozambique is a big one. If we can't get Mozambique figured out, we are fucked. The game's just kind of doomed to end. Yeah, okay. Oh, God. This is not what I meant to happen. Okay, we're gonna have to work our way through. So we'll make a raid for Congo. Then Zambia. Wait, what? For the benefit of the shotholders' SS personal safety, strongly recommended that Reichsstaat's administrator be moved from Kolimin. SS division line is presently maintaining it be open for an evacuation. However, it should be noted that increased Frimley roadside bomb attacks made the route tenuous, and any further delay will prove catastrophic. Hudik frowned. He'd been reading reports about rebels taking over countryside for a few weeks now. No matter how many killed, they kept on attacking. Come to this. Sipping some cognac, he pointed at the map on his desk, somberly marking a spot with his pencil. Leopoldville. Well, I think we might be fucked then. Oh no. Because it is my understanding that once the capital is moved out of Mozambique to Leopoldville, that's when shit starts doing a little bit of the fall apart-y. Granted, it's already doing a bit of that fall apart thing right now. Oh, God. Gruppenführer Grunewald was wrong. The Lion Division hadn't held and died with him. However, it remained Schenk's boys had stitched up a solution. A Junkers 290, which Hutik and Hoppa were now boarding. You could hear the mortar fire from the suburb. What was left of the SS wouldn't last. No matter. All the prisoners had already been killed when he ordered the city's abandonment. Verliga wouldn't get their rats back. Hoppa started to say something before shaking his head. The cabin was cramped and the seats shook when the rotor started up. Hudik wanted some cognac, but the plane had weight limits, so he had ordered the entire reserve destroyed alongside his office. Everything he owned, his chairs, carefully filed reports, all gone. He didn't care, for he would dispense with such luxuries in an instant. His officers, however. The plane made the painful trek down the runway. Two young administrators, Eichenlacher and von Treppen, eyed each other. Both had shot their children when they were told there was enough space for them. Oh no. Why were they doing this? All along Hudik had been proven right, but abandoning Mozambique, all the effort to centralize the administration in Quilomene, how could the Reichsstaat survive? The plane rattled as it took off. Von Treppen continued to look at Eichenlacher. Nothing was said now, but they both knew what the other thought. Hudik better have a good fucking plan. Or else. Well. Matthias was not a man for philosophizing. When he was set out to do things, he did them diligently and without questions. It was these two qualities that made him one of the most efficient pilots in the Luftwaffe, and rise in the ranks brought him close. His rise in the ranks brought him close to Reich Commodore Schenk. The admiration for him brought Matthias to the ends of the earth, eager to work for Südwest African administration, led by his personal hero. But all changed when the East African SS executed Schenk and his inner circle for treason and aiding terrorist groups. Matthias was dumbfounded. He thought the friendship he had with Schenk was real, so why was Wolfgang planning to destroy the Reich Commissariat from the inside? Were his plans more important than his friendship? Remember what Schenk had told him after a flight over the Angolan jungle where no payload was dropped. It's not about protecting the indigenous. It's about protecting ourselves. Matthias didn't really understand what Schenk was talking about, but his words somehow resonated deeply with him. But that was in the past. Matthias proved his innocence and was quickly reintegrated into the Reichsstaat Air Force, and he wouldn't waste a second chance for anything in the world. The sound from the control panel brought Matthias back to reality. He had a payload to drop on some rebel base, but as he was checking the coordinates on the radar, something fell off. Those coordinates looked familiar to Matthias, but he couldn't tell why. As his plane approached the objective, a terrible realization dawned on Matthias. That was the village Schenk spared during that flight. He only watched helplessly as the people down there running down. Blah, let me restart that. Matthias could only watch helplessly, the people down below, running in every direction like little black ants when their nest is disturbed. As the night sky was tinged with an eerie orange glow coming from other bombed villages, Matthias remembered Shank's words and finally understood what he meant. He was protecting himself and his men from this horror. Now you know the truth. The truth shall set you free. Well, we've secured the Congo. So now let's burn them all. No more exceptions. No more looking away. There's only one cure for degeneracy. Complete extermination. I don't care what some pencil-pushing propagandist in Germania says. I don't care how many villages filled with subhumans after days. This continent will be ruled by Aryans, and it shall be free. Free from degeneracy, free from subhumans. And anyone who stands by the Aryan Africa will be eradicated. Hunting trophies from the day of the Reichskommissar Central Africa still embellish the walls of Siegfried Mueller's former palace in Leopoldville. Forstner hadn't had time to redecorate, apparently. Hutig noted that with disapproval. He wanted all this degenerate and decadent nonsense destroyed. In fact, he ordered it to be. He raged at it. Why didn't anyone follow orders anymore? When Hutig set up his new desk, begun to set up his new command center after fleeing Mozambique, found his desk filled with mementos from Edmund Gallenberg and Jacques Massot. An operational map of Central Africa filled with red pins, not marking the sites of partisan attacks, but the presence of big game. Faust Cognac, Hutig had looked for and found a new opiate. Hate. Hate for Mueller and all of his degeneracy. It was his failures that made governing the Reich shot so difficult he wouldn't stand for it. Once more, he'd ordered everything destroyed. All the taxidermy, all the photographs, all of it. What Hans Hutig had failed to realize, however, was that Otto Forstner was no longer listening. In fact, he and his administrators had more interest in mentally reliving the days of Mueller's administration, with all the relative stability implied, than in carrying out anything in relation to Hutig's rapidly diminishing authority to order anything. With each passing day, with each new outpost destroyed by partisans, with every helicopter that's shot down, the glares aimed at the Statthalter by his new subordinates grew more and more hostile until one day Otto Forstner, exasperated, turned to one of his officers. Says a cancer killing the Reichstag. His name is Hans Hutig. Well, Tanzanika's about to slip out of hand. You know what? Screw them. We'll do our own thing in Tanzania. Well, I don't think you should be bound for Quelimane, buddy, because I think, yeah. Socialists. So let's go over what changed because of the new save. The militarists won. They went democratic, but we'll see how long that happens over there. They went with the shitty flag in England, although that's kind of neat. Norway is still doing that. Omsk is winning here. Novosibirsk is still holding on. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Probably Tukhachevsky over here. Brazil got cooed. Forget if that happened or not. And America went gamer. Well, light gamer, I guess. Yeah. Two Unamogs and a staff guard violently picked themselves outside of the Statthalter's palace. From the trucks emerged 24 SS men, all veterans of South Africa. Their FNLAGs at the ready, they break down the front door. What they see is Paul Werner Hoppe going down the staircase. What does it mean? A burst of rifle fire. I was gonna try to imitate rifle fire, but that was just lame. I apologize. A burst of rifle fire answers a question for him. The SS men make their way up the stairs. One of them slips on Hoppe's blood. Only Dahlheim saves him from concussion. When the soldiers clear up the last of Loyalist guards, we see a slim figure go out of Stadtholder's office. 52 rounds decimate the body of what turns out to be Josef Mengele. One more name off the list. They radio back the status. All clear. From Gulbewagen, Otto Forschner and 4 of his officers make their way up to the squad. Nothing says Forschner gives his butt to the Untersturmführer. The door is broken down with the rifle butt. Hans Hütte continued writing up his report to Ostparis even now. His door being kicked down by the traitors didn't bother him in the slightest. He was in his 70s. What could they do to him that this god-forsaken continent had already? Forschner walked in, 2 soldiers right beside him. Hans, it's over. There's no response for 7 seconds. He had to finish the last sentence of his report. Tension increased exponentially until he looked up and nodded. After pulling the lid on his pen, Statthalter Hütig pulled back his chair, straightened up, and extended his arm almost to a perfect 45-degree angle. He would face his firing squad with dignity. Looking back, he could find only 2 words with which meant anything to him. Heil Hitler. Here we go, the Afrikaner Abwehrfront. I did not mean for this to happen so soon. But yet here we are. So, Otto Forschner will spend the rest of his life in Africa, but how pleasant his stays will depend largely on what he does next. After going along with the late Statthalter's insanity, throughout the duration of his regime, the colony of Vavata of the Congo was convinced by other erstwhile Hutu loyalists of a need to eliminate him in order to save his own skin. The plan succeeded, also deprived the Reichsstadt of the element and once that held it together, the fear of Hütig. Therefore, the once mighty German Africa was quickly reduced to a rump state, desperately clinging on to Leopoldville. Fuck, spoilers, dude. Charged with responsibility of leading the core remnants of the Reichsstadt's administrative corps until living another day, Forschner must first deal with the unworkable mess of a state he has been left with. Given that he has no chance of returning to Germany, his only chance for survival is to reconstruct the institutions that once propped up Siegfried Mueller's Central Africa regime, and use them to strengthen himself from the inevitable attack from the west. Luckily for him, the Congo's descended into absolute chaos, which buys the Afrikaner Abwehrfront some much needed time. But how long? How much longer? That's my question. Statthalter Otto Forschner still couldn't get his predecessor's blood off his desk, or the hallway for that matter. Nevertheless, he could get used to his new position. With Hütig, he was able to deal with a few outbreaks of partisan violence just outside of Leopoldville in a sane fashion. It looked like order might just be restored and their skin saved. As Forschner went over a ledger detailing the financial situation of the state, Helmut von Treppen walked in. Herr Forschner! And all the other salutations ensued, following which von Treppen handed over a report. His eyebrows raised. It was a telegram from the Lebensschule. Bayer und Hoka, executed by firing squad. SS successfully purged. Helmut! What happened to the rest of his report? Von Treppen had just finished talking to an aide. The line was apparently cut off, Herr Forschner. The communications office just handed out what they had. Statthalter was demanding an explanation for failure to keep the network running. More bad news arrived. Chmielewski survived the attempt to kill him and was preparing his forces to strike north. Forschner was about to call up Rudel and order him to put down the rogue SS units when Helmut Eichelander came running up the stairs with a set of reports from the Oberkommandeur des Reichsstaats, which he had been the head of until taking over from Hütig. Well, what is it? Well, without the threat of Hütig putting them into concentration camps, many local administrators and commanders were finally given the chance for a way out. As Otto Forschner soon realized, quite a number had taken it. First report was from the Congo. The Katanga garrison had carried out a coup installing Jean Tremé as mercenaries to head the government. Since dread began to engulf the Stadtholder, he knew it couldn't get worse, but he continued reading anyway. Rhodesian Anglo units were taking arms and fleeing south. The remnants of the fleet had set sail for Burgundy. Northern Congo battalions and turned themselves in Iberia. Surprise attack by partisans took Hitlerstadt unopposed. Forstner realized that it was all lost. He hurried to pick up the phone to tell Rudel to prepare an evacuation. Where to, he didn't know. Just anywhere but here. It was too late, of course. No one picked up the phone. Forstner was paralyzed. Soon enough, he would know why. A mass defection of remaining Afrikaner Luftwaffe squadrons to Argentina and St. Helena had taken place. He threw away the report from Südwestafrika before reading it. Without Luftwaffe, it was as good as lost. No more reports came in after that, for as the Stadtholder knew, the Oberkommando des Reichsstaats now existed only in name. By the end of the day, Forstner had a clear picture of the Reichsstaat's position. Doomed. Though his forces had still managed to set up perimeter around the capital, and the riverine fleet still controlled the lake, the continent was lost. All that remained now was to find a way to survive. The end of the Reichsstaat. Your strength is just an accident, arising from the weakness of others. Joseph Conrad. Africa breathes. So, let's go ahead and take a look at everything here. We have a despotist, we have some Aufstoches, some commies, this fella, that fella, this fella, that fella. We got the Congo, that guy, them, Salazar, who we already knew was there, and then, well, poor Forstner, just kind of chilling on his own. We still have Hitlerstadt, and we have a Leopoldville and Boma. Oh. There was a jewel in Africa, let alone this mess that was Mueller's former Reichskommissariat. It was here. Hitlerstadt was a new city, might not be the most traditional, but it was the most beautiful. Across pristine acres of pristine wet beaches, miles of tropical jungle, and modern hotels and luxury resorts, rivaling those of Spain, Italy, or Prora. Here was the Africa Germany saw. The Africa its visitors were treated to. It was more palpable. It was more than beautiful, it was symbolic. Here was the penultimate evidence of the glory of the German Empire, more so than Gibraltar, more so than the entirety of the East. For they had inundated the useless jungles with a massive lake. For the German Reich had taken acres of land crawling with pygmies and built a city every bit as grand and luxurious as one would find in Europe. That was the evidence of the triumph of the Aryan race, as a symbol of as potent as a Parthenon, the Colosseum, the pyramids, or even the Volkshall. It was no surprise that was chosen as the redoubt for the German forces of the region. These men remember the city and what it was so long ago. They had been Mueller's men, the one who guarded the construction, the ones who visited it on their time off, and the ones who guarded it from the threats for years. If any city would remain German in this jungle, it would be this one. The Bay African militias would come, but they would be stopped at the city gates. Hitlerstadt would ever keep its name. It would be forever be held in the name of the man who built it. The man who it was named after. Stand fast, I guess. Good luck with that one. We got these guys. Yeah, we don't have oh, hold on. Try and call Nettelback. Do you copy? This is Nettelback. How copy? Enemy attacks more ferocious than expected. I repeat, more ferocious expected. The African militias begin take the upper hand. Situation beginning to become untenable. Over. Copy, Tran. Understood. Over. Need immediate resupply. Over. Short on artillery shells. Aviation fuel. Over. Running low on maintenance equipment and ammunition. Currently rationing food and medical supplies. Need immediate Supply of quinine. Notebook, do you copy? I copy. Supply not feasible at the moment. Hold fast. Over. You've been saying that for the past 3 days, you fucks! Give us a resupply, you run out of a bastion on the other side of the lake. Is that clear enough, Nettlebeck? Tran, maintain video discipline. We are short of all those things as well. There's no resupply coming. Hold fast. I repeat, hold fast. Understood. Heil Hitler. Tran out. All of Germany's with you. But will be done, must be done. Heil Hitler. Temple falls around us. So we get this little event chain, I suppose, to ride us out. Yeah, I don't know if this is the end. Ooh, we have the Comoros falling out. Yeah, I don't know if this is the end necessarily. Oh. Well, we still have a few events, so it's definitely not the end. Martin Blom stared with empty eyes towards what remained of Hitlerstadt. His flames licked once pristine buildings of resort town. Blom could only help but wonder where his future lay. As he recounted himself the story of his life for the past week and a half, the empty feeling that had crept into his mind for the past 3 years seemed to worm its way back into his brain. He could remember the assaults night and day from locals who had turned against their rule. He could remember when the makeshift walls surrounding the town began to collapse, its defenders overwhelmed by numbers and running low on ammunition. And he could remember how he barely made it onto 1 to 2 dozen boats, large and small, casting off the shores of Hitlerstadt, laden with any German, mostly soldiers, who were lucky enough to get away from the city. Blom had been volunteered by his father for service in Africa. Back then he was a young rebellious teen with a chip on his shoulder. Despite only being in his mid-20s, Blom looked like he could be 40. He'd done counterinsurgency for Mueller's Central African administration, fought his way to the Cape, and burned entire villages down in an elusive hunt for the very same rebels that had just sacked the crown jewel of German Africa. The young man could not help but feel as if his entire life was collapsing around him. His rifle felt heavy in his hands, despite the fact that it didn't have any ammunition. Words left his mouth before his brain could catch them. There we going. There was silence, a long, still silence. So those shot burned in the background. A single word was uttered in response. Leopoldville. And there goes Bay Africa. Or, Hitlerstadt. Yeah. So what do we have? We have a Congo State. It's got a nice color, but yeah. The Boers are still our puppet. I'm curious how long that's actually gonna last. Probably not long, I'd imagine. I know there's supposed to be this civil war that broke out, but I guess is it broken now? I don't know. All I do know is that the black sun is set on the Reichsstadt, and there's not much else to do other than let it be. Now, this is sort of the end. I guess this is going to be the end for now. I did sort of... Oh. So what's going on in Zanzibar right now? Despotism... Oh god, well that's a lot less pleasant than the Sultanate. So I might go back, because I still have a few of the saves, so I might go back one of these days. Maybe sometime soon, even. And go ahead reload, and try to do this a bit better, because I did sort of rush through it to get this out to you guys. Because I did want an upload for Monday, which is today. Well, not today. Today's Sunday, but when it's uploaded, it's going to be Monday. I did want something for you guys, because to get a little shoddy. I was thinking about taking a break from TNO again until Toolbox Theory dropped. I'm doing this on the day that they showed off the stream for Toolbox Theory with Calf, who can't fucking play HoI 4 to save his fucking life. I can't believe how badly he botched up the Algerian War. Granted, I never played it, so I can't give him too much shit, but still, oh my god. And, I might wait a little bit until I, just give it a break and then go ahead and play some more. I mean, after all, there is a little mod that I had one person bugging me to play on my Discord, so I might go ahead and play that. But, otherwise, it might just be, Kaiserreich, because I know they just did the update with, so I might play, might do Serbia, or might do Bulgaria. I'm kind of leaning towards Bulgaria, but we'll wait and see. And then, maybe Fear-Reich, maybe Red Flood, maybe 1,000 Week Reich. I'm not quite sure yet. But, what I do know is I'll be back one day, my friends. So until then, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for more uploads every weekday. Ideally, and sometimes Saturdays. If you have any comments, feedback, and holy shit, that's a thick-ass Pakistan. Damn, boy! She thick. Anyway. Yeah. Videos every weekday, as well as occasionally Saturdays. If any comments, feedback, concern, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get. Appreciate any all feedback you might have for me. If you want to chat, play games, and doing sort, check out my Discord. If you want to send bucks away every month on Patreon. If you want to see me do this sort of stuff live, maybe not exactly this sort of stuff, but same general idea, check out my Twitch, all of which are down in the description box below. Until then, thank you as always for watching, my friends. My name has been DB333. I'll see you next time. Bye.